Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite Battle Royale tips and tricks video. Now this video is gonna be one where I'm not holding back. I'm going to be talking about the #1 way to improve at this game. It's a lot more complicated than it sounds, but I'm gonna talk about why you aren't improving at the game or why you're improving at a slower ratio compared to what you want to be doing, and how I basically turned my gameplay from someone. When I first started playing this game, I was, the guy that would play squads with his friends and would hop on. But once I started to take this game seriously and started to implement this and analyze my own gameplay, start to play more solos and get better at the game, I started to improve rapidly. I'm going to talk about my own experience improving at this game and how you guys can do it too and become absolute gods at this game. Hopefully you will enjoy this video. Drop a like. You see it up on the screen right there. Smack that like button, guys. I really want to see if we can hit 2,000 likes. That would be absolutely incredible if we could. This is Season 7. This gameplay here is a gameplay I got just last night, playing with one of these Season 7, the Yeti skin. I love this skin, and I'm able to pull off a pretty, I get a decent amount of kills and a nice little squad win. I also get the sword at the end, so some pretty cool stuff. I hit a nice snipe, just a good overall gameplay. Building in this gameplay was not as on point, but that's because I was playing with some of my buddies from the East Coast. I'm from the West, so when that happens, you're going to be on like a way worse ping, so you got to adapt and you got to realize, hey, you may not be able to build as quick and you may be experiencing a little bit of lag. So anyway, drop a like on this thing, subscribe if you guys are new and not already subscribed. I would appreciate that. And let's get right into this. So the #1 reason, the #1 way to get better at this game is by practicing both in game and also practicing in your head, and getting ready not only physically at this game and being good at the game physically by hitting the keys, but mentally making the right decisions and mentally preparing yourself on how to get better at this game. The #1 way to improve is to analyze your own gameplay. Now, unfortunately, I can't go through all 600,000 of my subscribers' gameplay and do one-on-one teaching lessons. That would be very amazing, but you have to take responsibility and analyze your own gameplay. For example, what was happening to me, I've gotten, I think, a lot better at this game, at least better at getting consistent wins over the past couple of months. And the reason why is because a lot of the times when you die in this game, especially if you're a good player, you're going to be dying to the same sort of situations over and over again. Now, sometimes if you run into another good player and it's just those fights can go 50-50, or if you get third partied, sometimes a lot of the time when you die, it is sort of random, or there was it wasn't completely your fault, but there's almost always something you could have done differently. Even if you get third partied, you could maybe your positioning statistics could have been off on that or something like that. So for my example, when I sat back and I analyzed my own gameplay a couple months ago, I realized I was dying the same couple of ways in solos over and over. Some of the reasons why I was dying is, #1, I was too cocky in a build fight. When I would get the height advantage on the enemy player, I would immediately just try to drop down and finish them off, to finish the gunfight off as quick as possible so I could push the next player or whatever, to go for high kills and keep it going. Unfortunately, because of that, sometimes it would cost me and I would die, but not only that, I was taking damage in those fights. And that's another big thing, is you got to analyze your gameplay and realize when you're no health or no mats late game, you probably had health and mats in that mid game, and it's preventing that damage that you took or those mats that you used to prepare yourself for that late game, if that makes sense. So that was the first thing I analyzed about my gameplay, is a lot of the times when I was playing, for sure, I was dropping down too soon. So what I did now is I adapted and I tried to hold high ground, and I made a rule for myself in my head that I'm not going to drop down until I crack the enemy with a hard shotgun shot, and then I have the health advantage. I want to go on the aggressive and drop down. Other things that I was doing with making mistakes was snipers. I would always try to challenge snipers at range. I usually don't carry a sniper in solos. I prefer to go double heals or like a grappler or a explosive or something, more utility. But I was always trying to challenge snipers with assault rifles at distance, and it cost me. I would lose a lot of games because of that. So what I did is I adapted. I don't challenge snipers at distance anymore. And by the way, I hit quite a nice snipe right there with the heavy sniper. But I don't challenge snipers with my ARs anymore, and if I am spraying at a base that has a sniper in it, I'm going to be jumping up and down or constantly moving, not leaving myself where they have a chance, suspectable for that shot, or whatever the correct word is for that situation. But you guys know what I mean. Don't give them that opportunity to hit that shot on you. Another mistake I was making is I was getting third-partied late game when I was up in my base, because I like to base up and go for the win, but I'm also aggressive and I want to get shots off. People were shooting me in the sides and sniping me in the sides. So I realized the way to fix that is when I do my 1x1s on the top floor, just put 3 walls around me and then look out through the empty space. So those are some of my examples of things that I was doing wrong, that I realized I was doing wrong by every time I die, I think, what could I have done differently? And that is the number one thing. If you start thinking, what could I have done differently, instead of, oh, screw my teammates, oh, that guy's a tryhard, that sweaty soccer skin, that will, I promise you, it will change your life and make you a lot better at this game. Not change your life, but change your life in the game, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. A lot of people are more casual. This video is for people that want to take the game, I'm not saying to go pro in the game or anything, but people that want to get solo wins, that want to get better at the game. You need to make sure you're analyzing your mistakes and stuff like that. Other stuff just comes down to straight up knowledge. A lot of people try to play this game when they don't really have the knowledge. So, for example, what I mean like that is some people will just say, you know what, let's land at Lucky Landing. That looks like a cool place, but they don't know the chest spots there. Knowing stuff and having knowledge is so important. You know, knowing stuff like with shotguns, you always want to aim for the head. Knowing the chest locations all around the map, especially the area where you're landing at and the surrounding areas, you should know every single chest location like the back of your hand, like I do with Tilted Towers, right? Or Retail Row, the areas that I like. And then when it gets more advanced into that, this is the mental knowledge that I'm talking about, just knowing more about the game. And the reason you find out more and know more about the game is if you're willing to learn. You know, if you're watching this video, you're obviously willing to learn and get better at the game. So I'll drop you guys some gems right now and some advanced numbers. For example, stuff like this is stuff that good players know, and they just know in their head, but they don't really talk about too much. And I think that more casual players don't even think about this. Knowing things like the heavy sniper hits for 157 to the body, or the gold one, 150 to the for the purple one. So whenever I'm at 150 health, which is a common value, I make sure if I hear a sniper, I do not at all challenge that, because a simple body shot would kill me. So I'm not even jumping up and down and challenging that. I'm trying to get more health, and that's why 160 health is so much bigger than 150. Other stuff, just knowing that the blue shotgun hits for 100 to the body is its max potential. The purple shotgun, the gold pump, knowing how the sword works. With the sword, players can have up to 400 health every time they get a kill. It gives them 50 more health. It does 75 damage on the swipes, 25 on the lunges. And just knowing, you know, you have to play with the sword to learn how to counter it. And it's sort of the same with everything in this game. If you've ever used a grapple gun and you tried to grapple gun up onto someone, you know how to counter it from the other end. You either shoot at them right as they grapple up, or you build and block them off. So simple stuff like that, analyzing your gameplay, and then even more advanced stuff will take you to the next level. But the main thing is you don't need to be saving, you know, you could save your replays, I guess, and watch back your replays but you can do this while playing the game, and you can do it at any point, right? Whenever, if I win a gunfight but I take damage, a lot of times I'll say to myself, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have dropped down there if I push too aggressively. And for example, I'll give you some common mistakes that I see a lot of, you know, players making. Like I gave you guys some of my mistakes. These are some common mistakes that a lot of players make, and a reason why I get a lot of free kills. Number one, when an enemy has high ground, they don't build above their head to block off. They try to ramp up without blocking off their above their head. That could be something that, you know, could be affecting gameplay. It happens with a lot of people. Other stuff that I noticed with other people is they don't reinforce their ramp sometimes. Some players will build too high and not know what they're reinforced on. A lot of players will separate from their team in squads. In that case, you'll run into another squad who's together. If you get knocked, you'll be screwed. You won't be able to revive. And a lot of people suck at managing the storm. And this is something that I sucked at when I first started the game, because I would see a team of 4 and I'd be like, let's go for the kills, let's go for the kills. And then the storm would be on us. We would have taken damage in that fight. Always prepare for the worst. If you see 2 people over there, but the storm's coming in, don't think, hey, I can just, you know, take out those 2 players very easily. You know, I mean, unless you're Tifu or Ninja or a super god level player, think, you know, what if this goes wrong? What if I get damaged? Then I'll be moving in with the storm. And always just be paying attention. Think one step ahead. It's much like in baseball, and I've used this reference before in a video, I don't remember when, probably a long time ago, but in baseball, what they say for when you're playing, you know, infield, outfield, you need to know what you're going to do with the ball before it comes to you. So if you get a grounder hit to you, are you going for a double play? Are you going home? Is the infield in? You need to know this stuff, and it's the same with Fortnite. You need to be, it's not a direct correlation, and maybe this isn't the best sort of comparison, but you need to know, what do I have? If I have 10 minis and a chug jug, I'm playing aggressive. If I have 5 bandages and 2 uses best left in my grapple gun, I'm probably going to farm up mats, base up, and chill and for the gameplay. Knowing when to go on offense, knowing when to go on defense. This game, it's all about doing that sort of stuff. other than that, when it comes down to having your settings, you should have your settings right. That can be a problem. I see a lot of people have too. Check out my settings video. And a lot of people go into the game without even being able to practicing building. There's playground mode. There's creative mode now. There's not much excuse to not be able to at least be able to build at a mediocre level. If you can't build at a mediocre level, maybe because you're a new player. Everyone's a new player at one time. I'm trying to teach one of my friends right now who's trying to get more into Fortnite how to play a little bit, but always make sure you practice building. It's there for you for a reason. Playground, creative mode. Use those and practice shooting gunfights in real life scenarios by landing tilted towers. Best way to practice shotgunning. Hopefully this video really helped you guys out. I think it will. Analyze your own gameplay. Realize if you die to a sniper 9 times out of 10, you probably shouldn't be fighting snipers. Thanks for watching, guys. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next one, and I'm out. Peace.